Welcome guys, I'm Brad Browning, and in today's video, we're diving into how to make your ex realize that they seriously messed up by ending things with you. How to get them thinking, what was I thinking letting this person go? And scrambling to fix their mistake before it's too late. Now, you already know the breakup was a bad call on their part. You know there's real potential for something even better between you two. A stronger, healthier relationship that actually lasts. So over the next few minutes, we're going to break down the psychology behind your ex's decision, explore what's likely going on in their head right now, and reveal exactly what you can actually do to shift their perspective so that they start seeing you as the one that they need to win back. But to begin, let's start by acknowledging a few hard truths. And that starts with truth number one, which is right now, your ex believes that breaking up was the right call. So whether they blindsided you with the decision, whether it was mutual but now you regret it, or whether you were the one who ended things and now you want them back, well, if your ex isn't actively trying to reconcile, it means that they've convinced themselves that walking away was the smartest, most rational choice. They might think that the connection faded over time, or that something you did or said just pushed them to a breaking point. Maybe there were external pressures, like long distance, family issues, just lifestyle incompatibilities that made things feel unsustainable. But whatever the specific reasons, one thing is clear. Your ex currently sees the breakup as the logical move. They believe that they'll be better off without you. Now, of course, that's tough to hear, but it is important to accept that reality before you can begin to shift it. But the good news is that you can change their mind, and in a moment, I will show you exactly how to do so. But first, truth number two is you are not going to talk your ex into taking you back. Now, many of you probably already know this. I've mentioned it in countless videos before, but it is worth repeating. After more than 14 years of coaching people through breakups, I can tell you with absolute certainty that trying to reason your way back into a relationship almost never works. You can't sit down, pour your heart out, explain how sorry you are, or make a logical case for why the breakup was a mistake, and then expect your ex to suddenly change your mind. In fact, the more you push with words, apologizing, pleading, promising things will be different, the more likely it is you'll just push them even further away. Trying to win your ex back through logic, persuasion, or emotional appeals never works. And more often than not, it backfires. It makes things worse. And finally, the third hard truth, if your ex is going to come back, it has to be their idea. They need to reach the conclusion on their own that leaving was a mistake. That getting back together is the best thing for them. Not because you talked them into it, but because they genuinely feel it. So how do you influence that kind of shift in mindset? Well, that is exactly what we're going to cover next. First, though, I want to remind you to take a few minutes and complete my free quiz at breakupbrad.com/quiz. If you're hoping for a second chance with your ex, then you need to know where you stand and what your odds of success are. And that's exactly what my quiz does for you. Just answer a few simple questions and you'll get a detailed confidential results report that breaks down your chances and also offers you some personalized suggestions for what you need to do next to maximize your odds. Again, you can take that quiz for free at breakupbrad.com/quiz. Now, let's really get into the important stuff. How do you actually get your ex to realize that breaking up with you was a mistake? Well, it begins with step one, and that is to cut out all of the unattractive self-sabotaging behavior immediately. Now, this might sound obvious, but you'd be shocked at how many people, even after I warn them, continue doing things that actually push their ex further away. If you want any shot at reconciliation, you need to stop doing anything that's lowering your ex's opinion of you. So that means no begging, no pleading, no endless apologies or emotional speeches about why you deserve another chance. Remember, you're not going to reason your way back into their heart. And the more you try, the more you reinforce their belief that the breakup was the right decision. So instead, take a hard look at your own behavior. Are you being clingy, needy, sending message after message with no reply? All those kinds of things, they just scream desperation. And desperation, of course, is deeply unattractive. And the same goes for stalking their social media, acting jealous, constantly trying to get their attention. Again, these are behaviors that only confirm in your ex's mind that they made the right call by walking away. And here's another key point, which is to hide your heartbreak. Now, we'll touch a bit more on this soon, but for now, just understand that showing how devastated, lonely, or emotional you are, it might win you some sympathy, but it won't spark attraction. At best, your ex might feel sorry for you. but pity doesn't lead to romance. So for now, control your emotions. Don't let your ex, or the world in general, see you falling apart, because the path to getting them back starts with rebuilding your value, not tearing it down. All right, and that brings us to step 2, which is just to keep living your life. Now, I really can't emphasize this enough. You must keep living your life, even when it feels like everything's fallen apart. Too many people ignore this advice, thinking that it's not directly related to winning their ex back. But I promise you that it is one of the single most important things that you can do. So here's what I mean. Breakups are disruptive. They throw off your routine, they mess with your emotions, and leave you tempted just to shut down. But if you want your ex to see you in a new, more attractive light, you have to push through that urge and keep showing up for the rest of your life. So keep going to work or school, keep chasing your goals. And yes, it may feel like a struggle to even get out of bed in the morning, but showing resilience and stability right now is key. You don't want your ex to see you crumbling. You want them to see somebody who's strong, composed, and in control. And just as important, maybe even more so, don't let your social life collapse. Really, this is actually a time to double down on your hobbies, on your friendships and your passions. So get out there with your friends, reconnect with people you've lost touch with. Say yes to invitations, make new plans, try new things. Just keep your calendar full. Not only is that going to help you just distract you from the pain of the breakup, it's also going to help rebuild your sense of identity outside the relationship. And yes, hit the gym, go on that trip, take that class. Whatever you were doing before the breakup, keep doing it. If your ex sees you continuing to thrive, to grow, to enjoy life, they are going to notice. And on a subconscious level, that makes you seem more attractive, more desirable. Someone that maybe they've underestimated. So really, here's the bottom line. For your ex to question the breakup, they need to start seeing you as a high-value partner again. And that doesn't happen through sad texts or emotional conversations. It happens when they see you out there living your life confidently and independently. It may not sound romantic, but psychology doesn't lie. Confidence, independence, and emotional resilience are powerfully attractive traits. And right now, showing those traits is going to be one of your secret weapons. And step 3 is give your ex the time and space to miss you. Now, you probably knew this was coming, and I'm not going to lecture you again about the no contact rule. You've probably heard about it a dozen times by now. But the reason it keeps coming up is because it's absolutely essential if you want your ex to regret losing you. I mean, think about it. If you're still texting your ex, still seeing them in person, or staying in regular contact after the breakup, you're robbing them of the chance to miss you. You're giving them emotional access without the commitment. And that is not going to spark fear of loss. It's going to help them slowly adjust to life without you. Your ex needs space. They need to feel your absence. That emptiness, that void that you once filled, is what creates the conditions for them to realize just how much they actually valued you. So the rule is give them plenty of space, especially during the first 4 or 6 weeks after the breakup. I recommend at least 30 days of radio silence for most situations. So no casual check-ins, no, just wondering how you're doing texts. Really, unless there's something essential that absolutely must be communicated, just keep your distance. And above all else, don't let your ex enjoy the benefits of being around you without the relationship. If you stay close, if you remain emotionally available or allow them to slowly drift away on their terms, they'll never feel the emotional consequences of their decision. And they won't feel any urgency to fix it. You want them to ask themselves, what if I really lost this person for good? That's the kind of thinking that leads to real regret and a desire to reconnect. Okay, and step 4 is to start dating, or at least spending more time with the opposite sex. Now this is another one that can feel counterintuitive, especially if you're still completely focused on getting your ex back, but please hear me out. If your ex sees that other people are interested in you, that you're still desirable, still valuable in the dating market, they will notice and they will feel it. There's a powerful psychological concept called pre-selection. The idea that people are more attracted to someone when they see that others are attracted to that person too. And it really taps into basic human nature. If others want you, you must be worth wanting. And I promise you, your ex isn't immune to that instinct. So whether it's going on a few casual dates, reconnecting with old friends of the opposite sex, or just being visibly social and flirtatious, it sends a subtle but impactful signal. You're not waiting around, you're in demand. Even if you're not emotionally ready to move on, even if you still want nothing more than to get your ex back, projecting the appearance that you're desirable to others creates urgency. It adds pressure. shift forces your ex to question whether they made a mistake letting you go, because someone else might swoop in and take their place. Now, I get that it might feel unnatural right now, but if you want to shift how your ex sees you, if you want to reframe yourself in their mind as a high-value partner they could lose forever, then this step is extremely powerful. Okay, and on to step 5, which is to be intentional with every interaction. Now, at some point, maybe soon, or maybe it's already happening, you're going to begin reconnecting with your ex. You're going to start texting again, maybe talking on the phone, or even hanging out in person. And when that time comes, how you handle those interactions is crucial. Every conversation, every message, every meetup, it's an opportunity to shift the way that your ex sees you and to rebuild the attraction that brought the two of you together in the first place. So let's quickly go over a few key principles to follow if you do want every interaction to move things with your ex in the right direction. And it starts with number 1, which is staying positive. So no negativity, no complaining, no gossiping, no emotional heaviness. Don't vent or mope, and definitely don't bring up the breakup or your old relationship issues. Every interaction with your ex should leave them feeling good, laughing, smiling, just enjoying your presence. Make every moment with you feel light, fun, and easy. And secondly, stay cool. So even if your ex says something like, "I miss you," or they throw you a breadcrumb of affection, don't overreact. No gushing, no emotional outbursts, just stay calm and composed. Channel your inner James Bond or Beyonce. Nothing rattles you. Be warm, but always in control. And thirdly, be confident. Your ex was once attracted to you for a reason, so don't forget who you are. Be quietly confident, grounded in your own value. You don't need to brag. Just casually mention the wins you've had since the breakup, the things you're excited about, or some of the progress you've made. Subtly let them see what they're missing. And that ties into the 4th thing, which is to create intrigue. Now, you don't need to tell your ex everything. As a matter of fact, it's better if you don't. So be a little bit mysterious. If they ask what you're doing this weekend, say, heading to a music festival on Saturday, and Sunday I've got some plans with a new friend. And there's no need to specify who the friend is, where you're going. Just let their imagination fill in the blanks. A little bit of uncertainty really builds curiosity, and curiosity builds attraction. And 5th, don't be too available. Resist the urge to always say yes to your ex. Don't rearrange your schedule just to see them. Be the one to end a conversation. Let a few texts go unanswered for a bit. Really, you want your ex to feel that you have a full active life and that they're not your only focus. Scarcity creates value. And 6th is to flirt and build sexual tension. Now, this is huge once you're spending time together again. Whether you're one-on-one or in a group, take every chance to lightly flirt. Use eye contact, playful teasing, subtle compliments, just whatever feels natural. Keep things fun, keep it light, but definitely don't shy away from the spark. That romantic energy, that magnetic energy is key to reigniting attraction. All right, if you're still watching at this point, I'm glad. It means you're serious about turning your situation around. And hey, maybe you're thinking at this point, wait, didn't this video start out about how to make my ex realize they were dumb to dump me? Fair question, but here's the thing. Everything that we've covered up to this point in the video is exactly how you do that. There's no magic sentence that you can say to instantly change your ex's mind. There's no, one secret text that's going to make them beg to come back. What does work is taking consistent, intentional action that reshapes how they see you. It makes them question the breakup on a truly deep emotional level. So yes, every step we've walked through is designed to help your ex realize that they made a mistake and to feel that pull to reverse that decision before it's too late. And now it's up to you. None of this matters unless you actually execute. So take what you've learned in this video and really start applying it. Be consistent and be patient. The goal is to slowly, steadily shift your ex's perception until they realize that letting you go was the worst decision that they've ever made. Now, if you need help, please go to breakupbrad.coaching and sign up to work with me one-on-one. If not, thank you again for watching and good luck.